Namaste Angels is the weekly reading. We are starting with no. Eat cake. Happy birthday. Congratulations. Whatever it is that you're celebrating. Or if you just like cake, good for you too. Dirty movie. My choice. And living room. Dirty movie, of course, can be like exchanging texts and pictures and videos and stuff. Or something going viral, especially this week with the buck moon. I mean, we started with hunting season, as I mentioned, probably like May. Got a little early this year. But the buck moon around that time of year, there's always a lot of these like senseless shootings or other kinds of viral stuff that you see in the news. So that could be coming this week as well. Spirit says weekend away. Cocktail. Yes. Somebody could be getting married this week too. That could be what the cake is about. Or engaged. I've been seeing a lot of stuff about union and happiness and joy and whatnot. We got bedroom. I think this is the first time it has changed from living room to bedroom. Every time I drop those dice, they fall on living room. But now it's bedroom. So yeah, could be attached to some sort of celebration, wedding, deepening of commitment, something. And we got quickie. With the cards. You will meet your soulmate when the time is right. Union, reconciliation, eternal love. Your time has come. Also unawakened. So with whom you could be reuniting could be somebody who, and it looks like a male figure, so this could be the masculine in particular. You could be reuniting with somebody who had been stuck in ego, maybe was experiencing like dark night of the soul. It could be the moon that brings about some sort of change for you. Unaware, 3D, ego, darkness. Your twin flame is not ready yet. Or you could be experiencing what you could even feel it, like an energetic union connection with this person. So maybe in person, in real life, in person, you do not have a physical connection. You don't physically connect to them, but you could feel something change, something shift, something grow stronger within your connection with this person. And probably because they are awakening, which again may be brought on by the moon. The next card is stuck. And with the tarot, we have the Four of Wands upright with the Major Arcana card, the Empress in reverse behind it. So, just going to give each of these a quick shuffle. And I think we're just reading today. You are spiritually connected to those you love. Yeah, so I guess I was moved to look at this card. It was so dark, so like caught my attention. But I guess I was made to look at it because I was just talking about being like spiritually or energetically connected and feeling it. So that could be what someone's experiencing. I think this week is going to be pretty much cards. There's not really anything happening. Like the planetary calendar, we have the full moon, but I did a separate reading for that. The Hebrew calendar, nothing that I can think of. The Muslim calendar, Friday and yesterday, Saturday, was Eid, but today is nothing that I'm aware of. So we don't have that. The Christian calendar, Saturday to come, the 16th, the last day for which this reading is the feast day of Our Lady of Mount Carmel. But I don't really need to talk too much about that. Basically, it's a feast day, I think in the year 1165. Excuse me, I don't know why that year is coming to me. I think that may be the year. I don't know. which would be 11/11, of course. That could be the year. Maybe that's why it jumped out. It came right out of my mouth. Anyway, Mary is said to have given this guy, I think his name was Simon. There's so many of these stories where she appeared to people. I think this guy's name was Simon. She gave him a scapular, which is like a garment that you wear around your neck, around your shoulders. Maybe because that shoulder bone that we have is called a scapula. Maybe that's from where the name comes. I don't know. You know, the Latin stuff. That could be the root. I don't know. Don't start me to lying. But it is something that you wear over your shoulders. Sometimes you'll see people wearing just like a little stamp shape picture, rectangular thing, front and back. They're separated by string. They wear that around the neck like religious people. And that is to sort of mimic the scapula, but also that long apron-like thing that like priests wear or nuns wear. That's a scapula. So Mary gifting this person the scapula is supposed to have started the Carmelite order. So there, I just told you the story. That's what's going to be celebrated on Saturday. And Our Lady of Mount Carmel is the patron saint of Chile. So it's mostly celebrated in South America. Anyway, adventure awaits you. Go for it. And this could be talking about like if you're like going back and forth, like should I do this, should I not do this, in terms of making a move, maybe following some guidance you received. The answer is adventure awaits you, so go for it. Also, the dice, we just got yes, right? We started on no, but once I did the dice, we ended up on yes. It is a free will choice, though. Everything is, even entering union or not, is a free will choice. But sometimes we are definitely like destined for it. The universe sends us toward it. But if we slip into fear and decide not to, again, follow the guidance that we're receiving, then, you know, it could not happen. If we hesitate, again, meaning slipping into fear, we could cause these things not to happen, and that is our choice. But the universe does want you to enter union or have some sort of connection, again, whether it's physical or energetic or whatever, or both, all of the above, spiritual, with a soulmate. Hidden path. So maybe like there's something unexpected. Adventure awaits again. So hidden, like you don't know what's down that road, but you're being guided toward it. Possibly to meet the soulmate, possibly with the soulmate, and if you are so daring enough to take the opportunity, adventure awaits you. As do lessons, very likely. Knowledge, understanding. Look for the lesson in the situation. Going with the tarot, we're starting with the Four of Wands. Behind it is the Empress. There's the Moon. Moon always shows up when I'm doing a moon reading. The card always shows up. Ten of Wands. Somebody might have a lot on their plate, a lot going on. Juggling, maybe a lot even on their mind that they're thinking about. There's a lot of responsibility that they feel. That could be causing them to be stressed out. High Priestess, you are, very intuitive, wise. You're getting guidance. Again, you should follow it. We got the High Priestess and the High Priest now. So definitely this is talking about a spiritual connection. Like all of these pairings sort of show us like true soulmates. If you get both the Queen of Swords and the King of Swords, the Queen of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles, all of these things, the King and the Queen of any given suit or whatever, the Empress and the Emperor, it's definitely showing us like a true match, true soulmates, true twin flames, whatever you want to call them. The same is true of the Hierophant, which is sometimes in some decks called the High Priest, and the High Priestess, of course. The Hierophant represents the sign of Taurus. the High Priest, Gemini, or perhaps a water sign, and a relationship that is destined. So this one would be particularly spiritual, like a really spiritually based relationship, divine counterpart, for which, again, you are destined. But that doesn't change the fact that we have free will. And people will say, like, well, how could it, like, not happen if you're destined? Well, think about, like, the S word, when people unalive themselves, right? Do you think anybody's destined for that, or is that a free will choice? You know, there was something that you were meant to do other than that. So people can take it upon themselves to decide they're not, I mean, of course, that's the extreme, but they're not going to live out their destiny for whatever reason. So we're in this place of anxiety. Again, there's fear, and that could be dictating whether or not you move forward. Card most directly representing us this week, the Ace of Cups. It just keeps getting better and better. So again, reconciliation, new relationships, marriages, birth of baby, all kinds of wonderful things happening. Spiritual awakening, growth, something that is emotionally fulfilling, makes you very, very happy. Strength. Major Arcana card, strength in our surrounding energy. So the people that we're dealing with. Also, I just got, this might be particularly for Geminis. That's next week though, isn't it? I don't know. I'm getting some kind of message about Mercury and Leo, but I don't even think that's this week. I'm pretty sure it's not, actually. Pretty sure it is the 19th. I don't know. I'm getting something. There could be a connection. The person in this, what do you call it? Surrounding energy for you, you know, being that this placement tends to represent close friends, family members, co-workers, mates, spouses, you know, all those kind of things, love interests. For me, in my readings, the person could be specifically a Gemini and or a Leo. Like I'm both, for example. Gemini Sun, Leo rising. Gemini and or a Leo, and there could be some sort of major communication that takes place between the two of you. Because I just had very quickly gotten a flash about like Mercury and Leo. And so I thought about how Leo actually rules Gemini, which is ruled by Mercury, Gemini's third house of communication. So there could be some sort of major communication going on that happens this week. Happens this week. And that may be what leads to this happiness, right? Because this is your surrounding energy. So maybe somebody or something in your surrounding energy is what brings you this joy. And maybe it's because of a communication that occurs. Work and finance. Ooh. Yikes. Somebody's job could end. I talked about careers possibly ending in the full moon reading that I did. I already recorded the full moon in Capricorn reading. Things are going to be coming to an end, whether it's jobs, relationships, friendships, whatever. And this is kind of something that I guess spiritual people, maybe tarot readers, maybe astrologers, say fairly often, but this would be like a real final ending for a lot of different people, different areas, because of the full moon placement. Like on the 13th, which is this week, Wednesday, that's when the full moon occurs for most of us. For some of you, it could be the 12th, depending upon where you are in the world. And also on the 13th Saturn enters Capricorn. Saturn, Capricorn's ruler, enters Capricorn for the final time for the next 28 years. So because of what Saturn does in our lives and what Capricorn does in our lives, there will be things that also have a finality to them or end within the next few months, right? That transit begins on the same day as the full moon, but lasts through January, and I don't know why I keep forgetting the day, but sometime in January of 2023. So that could be what the work is about. Also, I'm just getting somebody could be like sick, so maybe you miss work, or you're having surgery or something, so you miss work, you're in the hospital, I don't know. Love and relationship, communication, boom. And it's sitting right underneath the strength. I felt that message so strong about the Mercury in Leo on the third house and stuff. So not surprised to see this. Physical health. We got the King of Swords. See, it's more swords. Somebody's having surgery or something this week. And of course, as a result, you're going to miss work. You know, you can't go to work and get surgery. Spiritual health. 6 of Wands in reverse. So really, really beautiful energy this week, with the exception of this anxiety that we're feeling, which may be because of something going on at our job and or with our health, or because we got communication from somebody who we really love and we slip into fear. Yeah, these are the only cards that give me any pause. The 3 of Swords and the 9 of Swords here. I'm debating adding 2 more cards, like a clarifier for this one and this one. Because sometimes the 8 of Wands can be about like a relationship that you expected to... This is the love placement, the love and relationship placement. So a relationship you expected to like get going by now still hasn't taken off. And that can be what it is. I mean, I don't really think so, but it did just come to me. Maybe a relationship at work. Some sort of party of 3 at work or having to do with your work. Somebody you met through work or something like that. But let's get started with the 9 of Swords. So this is usually a card of anxiety, fear, and you need to figure out, I talked about this yesterday with the 5 of Swords, like figure out if there is really something that you have fear about. Like sometimes we just feel anxious and afraid and we can't even pinpoint it to something like to a root. It's really like of our own making and creation. So it's important to try to figure out like what this fear or anxiety or stress or whatever is connected to. And then if you can do that, like attack the root and deal with the situation, and try not to blame like people or, you know, like other people or situations on how you're feeling. Like, you know, pay more attention to yourself and your breathing and to try to get yourself calm when you feel, if you feel yourself like going into one of these moments. And yeah, just really try to focus on like what it's about, because that can help you to figure out whether it's under your control or power. Because if it is, of course, you could lessen it, erase it, possibly through the breathing, you know, getting yourself calm, getting some rest sometimes will help. If it has something to do with illness, maybe taking some sort of medicine, treatment, or whatever, you know, all that stuff is in your control. And if it's not, then it's important to realize that too. Like, there's nothing I can do about this. You know, I'm still in control of my reaction to it, though, whatever is going on. So let me, you know, catch control of that. I do think it is more, again, of our own making or creation and just like needless worry based on the other cards. Although some of us could find ourselves in some kind of situation where we are in need of help, love, support. And again, that is here in the surrounding energy in strength. So If the anxiety is attached to whatever this work situation is, worrying about your job isn't going to help the situation. Focus on what you can control. Again, try to leave your anxiety by the side. If you're looking for work and maybe that's what has you worried, that you don't have a job, think positively, and don't be afraid to ask for help. There could be support for you. Somebody may be able to put in a good word for you or know of an opening or something like that. That could be perfect for you. In love, something may be, or relationship, something may be, bothering you with regard to the relationship, and you shouldn't ignore your gut feelings. If you feel that something in your relationship is unhealthy, then you're probably right about that, and you should, try to work to fix it. If you think that something may be going on behind your back, because sometimes the Nine of Swords can have to do with distrust also, it's best to ask your partner about it and, deal with it, basically. And if you've recently met somebody, you don't know them yet. So try not to get carried away one way or the other, good or bad, believing that everything is what it may seem to be, because trust takes time to develop if it's going to be like real trust, and love too. So there's no need for us to be in a hurry. In terms of finances specifically, with this placement, addressing the Three of Swords again, you could feel like you're like robbing Peter to pay Paul. Like, okay, I won't pay this bill so that I'm able to pay this bill. We'll keep the cable on and let the lights go off. Like that kind of stuff. And even there could be support, a loan, from a friend, from a bank, some kind of credit that you could apply. There's strength here, there's support here for you. But it has to be asked for. It has to be sought, but it does exist. And if you're worried about your health, with this, there's probably something going on with like substance abuse or whatever, or you should be careful of substance abuse. Like while you're upset, while you're worried, don't become a drinker. Don't become, try to avoid that, becoming an alcoholic or, a heavy smoker or, doing drugs, trying to numb the pain or whatever self-medicating looks like potentially to you. This is a really good time to avoid doing that, with the King of Swords also showing up here in the placement of health. So moving on to the energy that is real. This is an overall energy, but this is the card that really represents us this week. It's the Ace of Cups. So, this is a beautiful card. It's very powerful, very positive omen relating to love, happiness, affection. It's about new beginnings, like all aces also. And although it usually means something having to do with love or relationship, it can be a new beginning in another area of your life as well. Maybe in work. Maybe you're sad because you're leaving your old job, but your old position, but you're getting a new one. So there's some sadness with work, but there's also happiness overall that really it represents your energy this week. Something like that. Maybe you're again leaving people behind that you love at your work because you're moving on someplace else. You're being transferred, but you still, are really happy overall. Things are looking up in general, and people, will tend to respond to you this week with love, with happiness, with positivity, with goodwill, maybe more than usually in the near future. And you should just be feeling good about yourself and about life in general as well. It's a good time to make friends, to start relationships. Again, in love, it's a really positive and excellent omen. Either an existing relationship can take a turn for the better and grow, or, deepen. You come to like a deeper level of understanding of each other, or a deeper level of commitment, or both. Or almost any important aspect of a relationship can be improved by the energy of the Ace of Cups, and feel almost like a new start, even in an existing relationship, an encouraging start. If you're single or uncommitted, so maybe you're in some kind of situationship but not really committed, a new relationship is likely to appear soon for you too. So that's also positive. Work, this can definitely be promotion. Again, new job, good job, headed your way if you're unemployed or whatever. Your own business, something, finances, good possibility, for money in the context of something new. So, again, possibly a new job or some new income stream, new side work, a side hustle. Um, I don't know. You meet somebody new, and for a mate, and they got money or whatever. Something. It's money. It's positivity. It's finances, but also like in the context of newness, because this is again an ace. So moving on to strength, it is in our surrounding energy. We will find ourselves supporting someone, or being supported by someone. That doesn't mean financially necessarily. It could be physically. Maybe somebody holds you up when you're drunk, because you drank too much, because you were whatever. You were upset about your job, and you drank a fifth of vodka. I mean, that's my drink of choice, is vodka. And so they got to physically hold you up. You're holding somebody up, or they're holding you up. There's strength is representative of support. And because this card is in this particular placement, it's not you yourself using your strength on yourself. It is necessarily, it's likely involving another party, or a situation that's external to you, outside of you, having to do with close friends or family members or love interests, a mate, co-workers, something happening at your job or something like that. So let's see. I mean, it could even be in the form of, I lost a job and that was real sad, but I got hired at a new one the next day. Some support came in, something like that, in the surrounding area. Having to do with love, again, just looking at the rest of the cards, could definitely be connected to communication as well. Or again, a relationship maybe even that you thought should have gotten going by now, it has not. But maybe this week, there will be a turn, there will be improvement in that situation, in that relationship as well. If it's more directly attached to you, despite the placement, it can mean that because of external things in your life, or including possibly this anxiety that you're experiencing, it's a good time for you to meditate, contemplate, do some introspection, spend some time alone. And even if you're like, in a committed relationship, everything's going good, because the strength upright in terms of love would be like things are going really, really good. It's a strong relationship. You feel mutually supported. So not really worried about that in this area. But even if you have that going for you, everything in your love life is great. You got 13 wives and 19 kids. Even you need to try to find some alone time for yourself, where, I don't know, you are, again, spending it in introspection and getting to know you and love you and enjoy spending time with you by yourself. And you should not allow yourself any time to, or not allow yourself to spend any time in like fear and preoccupation. All right. Because what's going on around us, again, could be very wonderful. These outward things could be all going well. But the most important thing is what is going on within you. So if you're feeling this way, it's like of the utmost importance that you keep your head on straight. So if you got to take a break from those wives, those husbands, those kids, those whatever, that job, maybe you got to go on vacation, you got to take a break from work, and that's worrying you or bothering you, like I can't really afford to, but I'm stressed out, but I'm not feeling well, but whatever it is, that can also be the case. With work, it's also possible that your feelings may be hurt, or your ego may be bruised or something by something that happens at work. And again, there's support there too. So try to keep this in perspective. Like, your life doesn't revolve, your whole life should not revolve about what around what you do professionally. And you may need some assistance to find like a better approach to your work, or better way of doing certain things, or talking to certain people or whatever. And or again, maybe looking for work. Your ego could be bruised, or your feelings could be hurt because you don't have a job. Something could happen, or you could be like embarrassed or whatever. Again, don't hesitate to ask if you're looking for work. This you may need to do it like in a different way, maybe even in a different field than the one that you had been pursuing. Like maybe what you were wanting to do for work is not working out for you. And there's ways to find support and help with that too, where you'll come out okay. Finances, not necessarily have anything to do with work. Unfortunately, when it comes to money, the Three of Swords can be, about some like disappointing news. It's not going to help any of us to freak out about it. We should, face whatever the situation is and figure out what we're going to do about it. Take it one step at a time, even if it feels sort of overwhelming. Trying to take on what we can about the situation, and deal with that, and deal with it as we go, and don't let your pride prevent you from asking for assistance, for help, financial help, even if you need it. By allowing others to give to you, you're also blessing them as well. If it's genuine, on both ends. If you're genuinely asking somebody to give to you or to loan to you or something, and you're in the right place, and your heart and your soul is in the right place, and theirs is, when you ask, then you're helping them, especially if they give it to you. You're helping them by allowing them to give to you, because that's how blessings and abundance work. Like when you are blessed to be abundant, you are blessed for the sake of being a blessing to somebody else, right? Or in another situation. So that's the Three of Swords. The Eight of Wands in love. So in addition to what I've already said about it, I do think, again, for most of us, this is going to be about communication. And it's this communication that's tied to the Ace of Cups and the Strength card, and maybe even to victory in our spiritual health placement. But traditional tarot can also mean that you're just feeling ready for a commitment that doesn't seem to be forthcoming. And the idea is not to push somebody. So your man, your woman, they, them, however the person identifies, however, or you would refer to them, you can't push them before they're ready. All right. So in the meantime, it would help you if you can focus on yourself. So that takes us sort of back to the Strength card and finding that alone time to tend to you. Distract yourself somehow, if necessary, and give them their time, their space that they need. And before you know it, they should be back offering you the love you've been hoping for, if it's meant to be, just in the way you wanted it and everything working out. Now, for some, this card is showing up because that's this week that happens. And that's why the Ace of Cups is also here. All right? That commitment that you have been waiting for, it is here now, this week. And that also goes along with the cards that we started with. When we started with the Four of Wands and Union in the other decks. The Four of Wands in this deck, Union in the Twin Flame Tarot, and the other one was about finding your soulmate, when it was time. Something like divine timing about finding your soulmate. So those all make sense together too. With the King of Swords and the placement of health, we could be having symptoms that aren't necessarily specific. They could be like coughing and sneezing. Could be a cold. Could be allergies. Could be COVID. Could be bronchitis. There's so many, sinus infection. So many things that certain symptoms can point to. So they're not specific, and you don't know what's wrong with you, and your doctor may not know what's wrong with you, and they may order a bunch of tests or something, particularly if you your practitioner is one of Western medicine, right? Traditional doctor. You should try to educate yourself as much as possible too on what may be going on with you. I'm not saying like try to treat yourself, like going on WebMD and making a decision, but having an idea so that you can have like a real conversation with the doctor and be like a real participant in your medical treatment. Okay, that would pay. And again, this issue could be tied to the work, because I just feel like somebody could have to miss work because they need tests or they need a surgery, or they're sick and they just can't go to work, and that's what's bothering them. That's what's stressing them out. That actually happened last week, because I got my bae sick, and he couldn't go to work. So yeah, that could be happening with somebody else, or be a continuance of something somebody who has been dealing with. If they've been sick, maybe they're still sick, and it's, there's some tests or something that has to happen here. Person may be an actual Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. I guess it could be a Virgo too. Gemini and Libra, ruled by Venus. Could be a Taurus also. Aquarius, ruled by Uranus, which is located in Taurus. Mercury, ruler of Gemini and Virgo. Yeah, so it could be a Gemini, especially, it could be anybody, but especially a male, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, Taurus, Virgo. Reverse Six of Swords. I got like stuck for a second. Reverse Six of Swords in our position of spirituality. So on its face and in its general meaning, the Six of... Did I say the Six of Swords? Six of Wands on its face and in its general meaning. The Six of Wands is a card of victory and success, even when it is in reverse. It tends to be a positive omen that it can mean that despite like delays and challenges, things that you've been hoping for or working on finally coming through. So again, think about like this Eight of Wands. You've been hoping for this relationship to become committed. It still had not. This week it does, or this week. And there's an energy shift that begins it. So you may not even actually experience it in your 3D life yet, but the wheels are turning, and so just the energy around you just feels good. And that's why there's an Ace of Cups, maybe. Six of Wands, Eight of Wands, Ace of Cups, yeah. This could be due to something having to do with Leo, because this is Wands, fire energy. The sun, maybe the sun's placement. I think on Saturday or Sunday, it moves into... Sun is in Cancer already. Venus moves into Cancer too. So maybe toward the end of the week, that could be the case, what's driving it. I also talked about yesterday when I recorded the full moon reading, that yesterday, in addition to being a Muslim celebration of Eid, it was also, I just mentioned that because these things always seem to happen on the same day. There's multiple reasons why an energy may be the way it is. So also yesterday, Jupiter was square, Mercury was square Jupiter. So again, King of Swords with the wands. And it was, the energy that came up was about us, like how are we communicating our desires, our wants, our needs to the universe and maybe to the other individuals and the 3D that would be connected to helping us bring them about, or that are part of that cause and effect. So if you have successfully communicated your desires, the things you were trying to manifest into the universe, there could be a win this week in that regard. Also, not just because of yesterday was part of it, but also the full moon gives us that opportunity, as does the transit that also occurs on the 13th of Saturn entering Capricorn. So it's important to get these things out into the world that we want. But some of us who've already been working on things, already been trying to manifest something, already been, waiting for a shift, a commitment in our relationship, this, or in our life, in some area of our life, this Six of Wands for us is meaning that, it's finally coming. Specific to love, because we have this Nine of Swords also in the overall energy, I do want to mention that the Six of Wands in reverse, believe it or not, can be about feeling fear about a relationship. And if that's the case, it's best to revert back to this energy of strength and to examine it alone first. Like, what are you afraid of? Are there specific things that your partner has said or done that's contributed to this fear? Maybe you just need some reassurance. We all need some sort of like reassurance and comforting sometimes. Maybe that's it. If you're single and looking, you could be fearing that you'll never find love or real love, or, the kind of relationship you're looking for, all this kind of stuff, which of course does not have to be the case unless you make it the case, right? If you find yourself feeling that way, then you need to look at your self-esteem and believe that you're worthy of being loved, because you are. And didn't I call the reading last week? Last week it was the masculine specifically that was going through something like that. And maybe it's him again. Maybe that's why the physical health is a little off. Maybe it's tied to that. But yeah, I was trying to remind the masculine that he too is, worthy of love, even if he's made 10,000 mistakes and, even been a complete asshole at times. Hurtful, maybe even betrayed you or whatever. Even someone like that is worthy of love. Because we all are, and we all make mistakes, and we all fuck up sometimes, and we've all done things we regret. We're all remorseful about something, and unless we're a sociopath, of course, a psychopath or something. And because of that, it's like never too late, as long as you're willing to work at it. Six of Wands can also be about us, like just some sort of like waiting for the universe to give us answers and to give us stuff without the input and effort from us. So I think that was why I went off on a different tangent, but I think that was why I had brought up about how you're communicating to the universe. This card is calling for us to be specific, right? To ask about specifics and then get answers and take action, rather than waiting for everything to just line up in perfect order before we make a move. Be open to, receiving insights and signs and synchronicities and things, information that we're given from others too. At least enough to consider them fully before we just, reject something that, some sort of insight or information that somebody's offering to us. All right, we'll go ahead and pull 2 more for those 2 placements for, I don't know who I'm pulling them for, but they may apply for somebody. So here with the 3 of Swords, we have the Hangman. Hangman tends to be a card of a need to let go of something. And it tends to be emotional and or spiritual in my experience most often. So again, this could have something to do with, someone's pride having been hurt, and just try not to hold on to that. Just let it go. Again, we all get embarrassed sometimes too, and, allow for support, whether it's from another being, a human being around you, or from the universe. Allow for support, to help you through whatever the experience is. It's possible we need to let go of something physical in terms of like an actual job itself, or again, the type of job that we're doing. Maybe this career isn't for us. We're on the wrong path. That could be too. And if so, you may spend some time sort of like this, like suspended, in an air of suspension, in a waiting pattern, a holding pattern, while you figure out what you should be doing. Love joining the 8 of Wands. Yeah, we have the 7 of Pentacles in reverse. So it is just a feeling of like, I've been waiting. And the 7 of Pentacles, whether upright or in reverse, is about return on your investment. Like, I've put this effort in and I'm getting something out. When it's in reverse, more so than when it's upright, like it's like good or bad, you're basically getting what you've put in. So if you've been putting a lot of effort and movement and manifestation into love and relationship, then that's what you're getting. If you haven't been, if you've been putting poor communication in maybe and stuff like that, then that's probably what you're getting now. Like you're reaping what you've sown in these areas. Now, again, based on the other cards that we have here, I would say for most people, what we're reaping is positive. What we've been putting in is positive, because again, the card that represents us is the Ace of Cups, and the card that represents our surrounding energy is Major Arcana card Strength. And there is no placement in the tarot where strength is negative, whether upright or in reverse. It's just not. So with that, we'll quickly look at some other cards. These just traditional masculine versus feminine. This is a new way to line them up. Not to line them up, but new. I normally place these and then place these and then place these. So I don't know why I was moved to do it this way today. If you saw my reading last week, I skipped over so many placements, and it turned out there was a reason. Like by the time I filled them in, it was like my guides were trying to put certain cards in certain places. Crowning the masculine this week, we have balance, yin and yang, darkness and light. Stay centered in your higher self. I talked about in my other reading, the full moon, that I felt that some were going through like a dark night of the soul or whatever. So that could be what the darkness and light is. And maybe this might be the week that he comes out of it. He finds himself more centered, more understanding of the journey that he's on. Because, a lot of them are newly awakened or awakening now. Harmony is pure love. For love is complete agreement. Harmony is another way of saying balance as well. So it could be masculine, could be coming to a realization about love. and what it means to him this week. Crown of the feminine, we have release. Loosen your hold, relax, unwind. Release fear, anxiety, and doubt. So that really makes sense with the 9 of Swords, the 3 of Swords, the 8 of Wands potentially in terms of love. All you need is to believe in yourself. So remember, self-esteem, confidence is another message that went along with the 8 of Wands. Surrounding the masculine, we have marriage, legal partnership, commitment, marital bond, and societal contract. Your life does not get better by chance. It gets better by change. And this could mean more than one thing, depending upon the masculine. For some, this could be moving toward a relationship, a commitment, a marriage. And for some, this could be moving away from one. Like, then again, this is his surrounding energy. Maybe he is already in a marriage and he needs to change that. Or, you know, maybe again, he's coming to a realization about love and with whom he shares it, and he needs to make a change in that regard and, you know, enter a commitment, get engaged, get married. Surrounding the feminine, we have unawakened, unaware, 3D, ego, darkness. Your twin flame is not ready yet. So again, some are, as I just said, I felt awakening now, or are newly awakened. So we can't rush them. So again, go back to the 8 of Wands. We can't rush them. We can't pressure them. They'll catch up. And again, maybe they catch up this week. Everything you need, your courage, strength. We just had the strength card, right? Courage, strength, compassion, and love is everything you need, and it's already within you. So just think about that strength card. That's all we need this week to get us through if we are feeling doubtful or anxious about connections or our romantic lives, whether we're single, coupled, whatever it is. Masculine subconscious. We do have union. All right, so never make permanent decisions on temporary feelings. So even if there was something that, you know, pissed you off or pissed him off or pissed the both of you off, I'm not speaking, I hate you. I try not to use words like that because those are words that have like permanent meaning or like a really strong, heavy meaning to me. But if you're mad, that's not the time to decide I want in or I want out, because that's a temporary passing feeling. When you really have time to think about these things is when it's best to make those sorts of decisions. All right. So, union. Getting mad is not a reason to decide not to enter union, or having a moment of happiness with somebody with whom you're otherwise miserable is not a reason to stay in a union either. Feminine subconscious. Hidden path. You will meet your soulmate when the time is right. This is the card we started out with. Okay, maybe in an unexpected way, unexpected place even, maybe even an unexpected type of person. Like this person's not your usual type. It's on a hidden path. Detour, slow down, explore, and go in a new direction. Especially for those who are single and looking, it's an idea for you. A new direction. Crowning, we do have stuck. And it's like an ace of spades. I mean, it's giving me like an ace of spades or ace of swords kind of vibe, which can be about victory and success and newness, but it gets off to a rocky start. So you can still be feeling stuck or like you're on a bumpy road before things get to how they're meant to be. But stuck says block, third party, silence, barrier. Shift your focus to clear your energy. And this soulmate card says, try to be a rainbow in someone else's cloud. So I'm like, meet people where they're at with love. At the root, summer. So now, maybe tomorrow, maybe at the next day, maybe next month. But during the summer, things are happening, things are moving. It's time to see the sunny side. Your answers arrive in summer. And when you meet your soulmate, you'll feel calm, no anxiety, no agitation. At the heart of the matter, we have denial, repressed emotions, rejection, and unable to see below the surface. So we could be fighting and sitting next to this card with these cards for the masculine. So again, he could be denying his feelings one way or the other, and which would explain why he's crowned by this balance and the need for harmony, because he's got to figure that out. At the heart of the matter, sometimes the strongest people in the morning are the people who cried all night. And that may be part of that dark night of the soul experience. Or even for the feminine, the isolation that you go through, thinking things through, contemplation, when you take that time for yourself. Again, that would apply to any of us, whether you're in a relationship, you're not, you're single, you're looking, you got 13 husbands and 19 kids. You may still need some time to get some stuff figured out. And that's what I have for you this week. We can see if there's any extra advice. I'll pull one more card for each archetype. So masculine from the soulmate card, extra advice. Everything you've ever wanted is on the other side of fear. So it's about shaking off that fear this week. We got like an ace of hearts now. The ace of spades there, ace of hearts. Feminine, you are on your way to meeting your true love. Or if you're already with them, a deepening of commitment there. And from the Twin Flame Oracle, masculine, stop trying to control everything. Stagnation, delusion, release the need to control situations. And feminine, ascend. Expansion, evolution, universal intelligence. Stay connected to spirit. On that note, I bid you adieu. Please do like, share, subscribe, and comment. I appreciate it. Namaste.